Welcome to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I am your host, Kris Murray. Childcare leaders around the globe are breaking through challenges, leading the way in innovation, testing new best practices, and impacting children and families in a much more powerful and positive way than ever before. Each week, join me for interviews with early childhood leaders and experts that will leave you inspired to become the next childcare rockstar. Now, let's go. This is Childcare Rockstar Radio, episode 198, featuring Jessica Harris. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Kris Murray, your host, and I am thrilled to welcome you in to learn more about my friend, Jessica Harris. She's an incredible superstar in her own right, operating a school in Utah. And the name of this episode is Be the CEO of Your Own Life. Jessica is an extremely inspiring person with 4 daughters, and that was the inspiration for naming her school. She talks all about what inspires her in her life and how she kind of pulls up her bootstraps to look out and be a strategic planner to dive into her highest, best use of her CEO power and apply that amazing energy to her life as well as her business. And so we're going to talk all about that today. And you're going to learn more about her program and how she's gotten fully enrolled and the strategies that she uses to stay full, which is really amazing information for you to apply to your own business in this time. Many of you are struggling a little bit with enrollment right now. So I would say listen to this closely with pen and paper in hand. And just what you learned from this podcast can transform your business and transform your life. If you haven't checked out some of the prior episodes, maybe you're new to the podcast, I would point you back to just go back in your podcast app and look at the previous episodes, see what's calling you, see what feels energetically exciting, and spend some time with me. We have almost 200 episodes of incredible tips, strategies, inspiration, motivation, and just really good rock solid ideas to apply to your business. So that is my guidance for you today as your host. A little bit of self-promotion here on the podcast. And what we got going on here in the personal world is I'm actually about to get on an airplane and go to Bali. I'm going to work on continuing my spiritual awakening and just being with people who are on the same path. Also, we've got entrepreneurs in the group going to Bali, and my mentor, Amir Zogi, who has been on this podcast. So I'm excited to work on my leadership, work on my ability to coach others, both in business and in life/mindset intuitive practices, which is what I'm coaching on the personal side. And so that's what I'm up to. I'm excited. I've always wanted to travel to Bali. I've never been to Asia. And so I'm excited to add this continent to my list to check that off the box and just experience Asia and Indonesia and Bali in particular. So I'm flying through Hong Kong, which I've heard is a pretty cool airport. So I'm excited just to experience all the things. I hope that you are having a great spring. I hope that 2025 is being kind to you and that you're being kind to yourself, most of all, taking time to reflect, to ponder, to exercise, to fill your own cup, and to be present with your life so that we don't just spend time in the past and the future, but we are here together, being present with our loved ones and with yourself, most of all. So with that, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with me on this podcast today. And let's just dive right in to episode 198 with Miss Jessica Harris. Let's go. Hey folks, welcome back. I am very excited to introduce you today to my guest, Jessica Harris. Jessica, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Where are you sitting right now? Where are you located?
So I'm in Linden, Utah, and there is no snow. So that's weird.
And you're in your home office or your center?
You know what? It's weird, but I'm actually at a friend's house because my home office, they're working on the roof and my husband didn't tell me. So it's like bang, 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 bang. And I was like, it's not going to work. So I'm just at a friend's house right now.
It's cute.
Yeah.
It's really cute. Yeah. So we're recording this in early February and 25. And both of us live in the West. I'm in Colorado and Jessica's in Utah. Mm-hmm. You're a little bit, how far away are you from Salt Lake? A couple hours?
No, I'm only like 35 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, pretty close to Salt Lake.
Okay, cool. And we have no snow. So we went through a crazy, super frigid season. The most of the United States was under a cold freeze. And we got snow in Alabama and Florida and Georgia and Texas, all these crazy, Louisiana, where they don't usually get snow. And now we're like in a warm craziness of like all the ski resorts here are completely melted. So it's not looking good. And the Puxatawny Phil, the groundhog, did see his shadow and says there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter, but I think I'm going to call Phil out that I think he's wrong.
I'm going to be with you on that one because I tried skiing this year and it was ice. It was ice. So,
yeah. We went last weekend, both days, but I was trying to get my days in because I'm nervous that if we don't get snow soon, we're not going to have any more days. Tell me more about your school, your program. What's the name? Just give me more of the lowdown on the program.
Well, our name is Four Sisters Childcare. Me and my husband own it together, and we have 4 daughters. And so they're kind of the inspiration for the name. And we were actually in home first. And you actually pushed me to, I know you don't know this, or maybe I've shared it. You pushed me to do a center. So you were the thing that kind of tipped it. And nice. We're now at a center. The capacity is 86. And we're currently at 91 FTE, which is pretty exciting with a wait list. So it used to be a facility for troubled youth, actually. And there was like holes on walls as big as bodies that we had to redo. But the community appreciates us being there and not them right now.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting. That's cool. Congrats on being full with a wait list. Not everyone is in this season. We're going through a little bit of a weird recessionary time in the industry in some markets, but you're kicking butt over there. So way to go.
Thank you. It's
Love
exciting.
it.
We've worked hard to get there. So
yeah. So how long ago did I inspire you to grow from a home to a center? Take us back.
It's going to be 3 years in July. I'd gone to a early education conference, and I don't know if you still do those. I don't know if you still go to conferences and speak at them, but you were there, and we were doing pretty good at our in-home, and I was full and like just doing awesome. And I had walked right in, and you were just like, to be a successful center, you need to be doing this and this and this, and have your funnels, and do you have a wait list and all these things? And I was like, I'm doing that. Like, what? What? A center? And then I actually accidentally went into another one of your classes that were like smaller. And Jody was in that class. It was right before she joined as a coach.
Yes.
And you guys were talking about millions of dollars. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? You can make millions of dollars? And, so I'd already been kind of feeling like there was a change. We actually almost sold the in-home daycare to someone else, and we were going to rent out the home. Like, we were having all sorts of ideas. And so after that meeting, I went home, and normally my husband's the crazy one that's like, let's try things. And I was like, honey, there's this lady, and basically we're going to start
this lady.
Yeah. I was like, basically we're going to start a center, just FYI. And he was like,
okay.
Like, oh, okay. And then right after that, God works in wonderful ways. And right after that, this location, a friend of mine was like, hey, there's this place that's been just sitting there. And, and actually even getting the location, I've never gotten a building before. I didn't know how to do commercial, but because I had joined you guys, the academy right after that, because I'm like, I can't do this on my own. There was a moment where I was like, I don't know what kind of loan to get. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I felt inspired to go watch a video in the Academy website. And it was like right there, Kris, like right there. SBA 504. I will never forget. I journaled it. I'm like, they did, there it was. And then we got it and,
Right.
got it going. So it's been
Nice.
cool. It's definitely been inspiring, but yeah, it was you pushed us.
Well, that makes me super happy. And a lot of our members started as a home-based childcare. In about at least maybe 2/3 of our coaches, including Jamarian and Donna and Jody, all started as home-based.
I just think that you do so good at just like saying it how it is and allowing us to dream big. I was never a dream big kind of person. I was very fearful, and I kind of was always mad at God because how we started this, even taking it from my mom, it wasn't even mine. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm happy. I was a hairstylist. I was like, I'm good. But, as I did it, there was so much that I had to learn. And I was like, this sucks. Like, God, why are you having me do this? And you helped me shift that mindset to like, hey, actually, this is good. And get comfortable being uncomfortable, and you'll see the growth. And I think that you are really good. The Academy is really good at inspiring. I'm seriously from the heart. Like, and you say it, my favorite thing is you guys just say it how it is. Like, there's no time for fluff. It's like, hey, let's just get it done. And it's so cool.
Yeah. Cool. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. So you are married with 4 daughters, and your husband is a saint, apparently, with all of that female energy running around the house. No sons.
No sons, poor guy.
So tell us more about what's going on at home. And you can also, if you want to weave in a fun fact about you that you want to share, that would be great.
Okay, I'll start with the fun fact. But okay, if I share this with you, you can't use this against me, okay?
Okay, promise.
I was trying to think of like the weirdest things about me. So I love being in front of a huge crowd, and I love being one-on-one with people. But if you put me with about 6 to 7 individuals in a room, I get really weird. I have anxiety and I'm awkward, and my mind goes blank, and I have nothing to say, and I worry about everybody, and I hate it. I hate it. So girl trips, when there's 6 of us, I'm like, I don't think I want to go. And it's
right.
Weird. So weird about me.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting reflection. I mean, at least you know yourself, Yeah. And so would you consider that like when you go to a party, like if you go to a Super Bowl party this coming weekend and there's 20 people there, do you have like that social anxiety thing? More of like the No, not at all. Just the 6 people.
No. And I think it's the people pleaser in me that I worry too much about everybody and making sure that everybody feels, heard, and that no one's like in the corner by themselves. When there's like 20 people, there's like, there's groups. But when there's only like 6 or 7, it's just enough that I'm like, are you okay? Is that person being looked at? And then I just like, this is not fun for me.
Right.
So it's weird. So
yeah. Interesting. And how long have you and your hubby been married?
So we've been married. In August will be 14 years. I was 21. He's my best friend. He's taught me a lot, actually. When we very first got married, my mom she tried her very best, bless her heart, but I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to ask for things. And basically, he was so kind because he could have taken that power and gone, controlling, but he pushed me to ask questions. It started silly. Like one time my mom was like, hey, we're at dinner. She's like, you're going to buy this electric toothbrush. And I was like, okay. And my husband, we go outside and he's like, I'm sorry, what's wrong with your toothbrush right now? And why didn't you ask some questions? And how much is that toothbrush? Like, you just like didn't even think about it. And I was like, whoa. So, yeah, it was crazy. It was a good realization, but I realized that I really had to think about myself, and he's always pushed me to think for myself, and he's prepared me really for this journey, and I'm forever grateful for him. So
cool.
Yeah. And he's part of part of our daycare now too. So full time, which is fun.
Cool. Is he in the men's group?
I think he is scared of the men's group. So if somebody is listening to this, reach out to him because he's funny. But
Oh, the men's group has it going on. Let me tell you, I just interviewed Jacob Jensen on this podcast, and
cool.
my God, between him and Solomon and Jordy and everybody else, it's like amazing. So
probably why he's nervous, because these men, he's probably got man crushes on them. I don't know.
Probably. Yeah. I meant to say Gordy, not Jordy. I don't know why I said that. Yeah. So that's cool. I love that he's supporting you in that way. That's very, very cool. I want to shift the conversation to your journey and just ask you, over the last year, what is the accomplishment that you have done or achieved that you're the most proud of over the last year?
I love that. I love that question. I think the biggest thing is understanding what my center needs, like what our passion is. And it's really come out, and I've really learned really this last year what that is. And the word that comes to my mind is resilience. And I have felt, even from the start, I didn't know why or what it was, but I've been able to put it into words now, that our society lacks resilience. And that's a really important skill to have. And I always thought it was about kids. And it is. It's very much this business, the daycare, this platform is very much about kids. But as I've been growing and I went from my in-home and started having more employees and teachers, I realized that this platform is also for these teachers that are coming in, and realizing that, again, that skill of resilience is not there, and they're not understanding how to do that. And so I see a lot of anxiety, and I see a lot of fear and just this pressure. And I realized, holy crap, like this is something we need to work on, because when we first went into our center, the craziness of teachers, Kris, I can't even, like, just off the top of my head, I took several people to suicide prevention places where teachers had miscarriages, or just like so many issues were happening, and it was a revolving door to where we are now. That, I mean, again, we're going to be 3 years in July that we've had the center. I've like slowly been learning my passion and realizing that resilience along with communication is just huge. So I think that this last year I had a personal experience I'd love to share here, because I feel like it taught me a lot, and really finalized that thought of like, okay, I see that this is kind of our passion. Last year I made a goal. I'm religious. I believe in God, and I wanted to get closer to him. And so I decided that I would not miss one day of reading, for me, my scriptures, meditating. We have temples that I like to go and worship in, and I made a goal to just not miss it. And throughout the whole year, I think I missed like 10 days, which is huge. I've never done that. It's always like, yeah, but I really, really dedicated myself. And up until it was October, it was right before we were going to the summit. I had this realization that I hadn't felt anxiety and like fear is huge, like of failure, of the center, of teachers leaving, of all that. And I had this like realization. I was talking to one of my directors who I brought with me, and I was like, whoa, I think I understand why. I think I just got some, inspiration that because I've been doing these small and simple things in my life and making it consistent, over time, it created some peace, and I wasn't having that anymore. And one of my favorite books is The Atomic Habits. I'm sure you know that book. Yeah. And they talk about, 1% better each day. And like over a year, you can get like 37% better, right? Like they're just little things. And so then I get to Summit, and, I ran for Rockstar, and I was like a mess. I was a mess. And It was just, that's new, like being in front of peers and everything. And I wasn't waking up early and doing my workout, which like, I don't miss a day. I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading. And it was like,
Right. You stopped everything.
I stopped everything. And it was like 2 weeks. And because I had so much, like, I was so nervous, I wasn't sleeping. Right. So all the things. And, and then we like to, soak in everything from the summit. And then we actually take time after to meet and to enjoy wherever we are, with my team. So it was a total of 2 weeks that I did not do my like small and simple things that I was doing. And anxiety came rushing back, and fear and no control. Like I was wanting to do things that I hadn't done since like high school, like just dumb things that I was like, what is going on? And I got home and then I started doing my things again, and the peace came, and I was like, okay, that's huge. That's huge. And I had a moment to just journal this out. And I was like, okay, this is a huge key. And I need to teach my teachers this. I need them to understand this message of how powerful, how you use your small and simple moments and you're consistent with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So following up after that, I did do a training with my teachers and got super vulnerable, which I think is also important. A lot of times, and you've taught this, we want to be tough and we want to be like, we make no mistakes. But I realized that my teachers, it's not just teaching them how to take care of kids, because I have like a whole training system, your trainer, everything, but it's helping them teach life, right? Teach them resilience by doing these small and simple things. And something that I loved that, again, you guys always talk about having policies and procedures and systems. Yeah.
Yes.
And it clicked that us as people, like our individual selves, we are our own CEOs. We are our own CEOs. And we have to have policies and procedures for ourselves. And we have to follow them, just like a company. If you don't do that, it fails.
Right.
Right. So I felt really inspired to teach this to them. Yeah. And we talked about like small things. I mentioned as small as I have a policy and procedure that every night my retainer has to be next to my nightstand, because if it's not next to my nightstand, I will not pop it in and my teeth will start to move. It's simple as that, right?
Right.
And I was like, I have to do that. And every single morning, as soon as I get back from the gym, I go straight to my kids. We do scripture time together. And then I have to turn on the hot water before I take all my clothes off. I mean, it's like as detailed as that. And realizing that when you do, it's such a small thing, but when you make that policy and you sit down, and I had my team like really sit down and pick one thing that you've been wanting to do, one thing.
Right.
And break it down, not just I'm going to have a goal that I'm going to work out, but like this is each procedure to this policy. And, anyways, it seems silly, but like it felt so inspirational. And so many of them came back and were like, holy cow, Jessica, breaking it down like that. I've been wanting to do this for so long. And that's my why. Like that is what I'm so passionate about and so proud of, that I'm realizing, because as we teach them that, then all of a sudden they have more resilience because they are feeding themselves. They are prepping themselves for these hard moments.
Right.
And on top of that, communication is huge for us. And we have the hard conversations, but realizing that what's the purpose of that conversation? Is it just to yell at you, or is it to progress? And so I could talk about this all day. I feel so passionate about it. And I've been really happy that is one of the reasons why we're so successful right now is because the teachers, if they're not in a good place, they're not going to then do well with the children. And so, and even actually at that training, I had them, before I even started, I did a poster and I said, what kind of emotions are you feeling right now? And anxiety, fear, overwhelm, anxiety. And it was like, yeah. So So anyways, that's been a huge passion, and I feel like it's going so well, and we've had so much success and retention with teachers, and realizing that this generation needs that help. And a lot of my teachers aren't even coming from, childcare backgrounds, but they are learning and growing, and it's really cool to see. So.
Love that. A couple of things that I wanted to share and pull out from that. So for me, the practice has been when you make a commitment to yourself of these little things. And I'm doing it right now. So I'm in the middle of what's called the Mind Over Matter Challenge. And I'm going to share this on my session in Phoenix, my main keynote. Is just adding something and taking something away. So I did this 2 summits ago. I added cold showers at the end of my shower for 30 seconds and took away sugar. And I did the same once this time. This is the second time I've done this challenge. But the challenge of doing it for 30 days is super simple. But the commitment, the reason why it helps you be more resilient, love yourself more, and stay more centered energetically, so you're not so ping-ponged by what's going on outside of you, is that the monkey's on your shoulder watching you. And if you do what you say you're going to do, then you have a higher level of deservingness, self-love, and value. And so that energy, then you put out a less anxious, more loving, more calm, relaxed energy, because you have elevated your deservingness because you actually did for 30 days the practices that you said you were going to do. So when you stopped and you went to summit and you were all like, and I even remember like when you didn't win, you were upset. And I was upset for you, but I also was just holding space for you and just
I loved that.
Sending you love and I get that. But yeah, you were definitely emotionally triggered and I get it, like in getting in front of 1,000 people and competing for Rockstar. And and you did an amazing job, but it's one of those things. And I want to ask you like what you learned from that experience too, like what, in terms of just about yourself or just about what you've accomplished or just what was good about competing in that. But I love that you're sharing this with your team and getting them to dive into their own small habits, atomic habits, little things they can do, because when they do it and they follow through with what they said they were going to do, their deservingness will increase and and
the biggest aha, I think, for me is that if you treat it like you are your own CEO, and if you think about how you have to think about everything that could go wrong. So like a new one right now this year that I'm working on. For 2 years, I've been trying not to be on Instagram because I get sucked in hardcore like drugs, man. Like once I start, I can't stop. And it's always like, not even like, I know social media can be good, but I get sucked in and I was like, but I can't because of like work and like the academy, and like I have to be in there. And so this year, practicing this that I learned, I really sat down and was like, okay, why doesn't it work? Okay, because I have to get on there. So what can I do to help me stay accountable? And this sounds so silly, but for me, it works is anytime I get on it, I have to be supervised. So that's a director's next to me. My husband's next to me. My girls are next to me. And I am so happy to say, after 2 years of trying, it's been a month and some, right? And it's worked because I like really looked at the details, like what is going to make me fail and what's going to make me be successful. And it finally was like, I can't just completely cut it out. It won't work. So what can I do? And it's fun. I'll just be like, honey, I am following Blake Lively's whole drama right now. And I really want to go see if there's anything on her Instagram. So will you just watch me as I look really quick? Because then I don't get sucked in. And then I'm like, I got my goods. And then I'm like, move along. But like really deep, like diving deep into that small detail that I think a lot of people just sit right here, but you got to go a little deeper and then you have more success. And so that's been cool to see and apply in my life. So
yeah, like it's just that accountability piece. So it's a system. Your system is, I know by having somebody there with me that it's going to support me to achieve this goal. For me, my system is with the gym, I have to have accountability. Like if I don't have somebody monitoring how many times I actually go. So I'm in a small group fitness. So I have to go into the Google sheet that everybody in the gym belongs to. And we put our sessions in, we write our name in. And if we don't go, we get penalized. If we say we're going to be there and then we blow it off, you have to take your name out. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But that's really, really good because it is that accountability where my trainer's going, you really haven't been to the gym like much in the last 2 weeks, or whatever. So that's my system. So I guess the lesson for the audience here is if you want to achieve a goal and you're struggling, or you find that you're up and down, in and out on it and not consistent, look at your system and change your system, or try and test different things with your system. But you are your own operating system is basically what you're saying, or your own CEO. So of your life.
Yeah.
So I love that. So at the summit, and you did reflect a little bit about what went on when you were on the stage and then your experience, but sometimes even the preparation of it is where people get that learning or that growth, because you're putting together a package and making a video of your accomplishments to compete in Rockstar. And so what did you learn from that?
Oh, so many things. The interesting thing is that I have used that content so much after for marketing purposes,
Cool.
which has been really cool because I would never have taken the time to think through how I wanted to present. And so it's really only been positive. Some of the hards were, it is a little intimidating against your own peers, like presenting to your own peers when you might feel a little bit inadequate. And I think what helped me was to realize that, if one person gets something out of what I have to share today, then it's a win. It's a win because we're here to lift each other. And so I really did feel like a winner regardless. Mercedes did an amazing job. Sister Mercedes is amazing. But I felt so good, and making the connections throughout was probably one of the coolest things. Because when you present, everybody knows who now you are.
Yes.
And I had several people come up to me and say, your story really resonated with me. And thank you so much for sharing. Like, you inspired me to do this and that. And just that alone, I was like,
yes,
that is so cool. That is so cool that, I was able to connect with a lot of people and make new friends that way, and connections. And yeah, I think again, the hard was because I stopped doing my little things. I was not grounded, and I was not where I needed to be, which is fine because it is nerve wracking on top of everything. But I think overall it was a really cool experience. And again, the amount of love I got and support, and how about, again, advertising, marketing, like I posted that everywhere after that I was one of the rock stars, right? Like, so really just a cool experience. And it is different than what you think, like going in. I don't know what I was thinking, but it did feel a lot different. But even just rubbing shoulders with you and Jen and being backstage and talking to other people, I mean, just cool. Just really
it's cool. A lot of people I just interviewed the sisters, Mercedes and Maria Consuela, for their win. And they felt like she was battling imposter syndrome. Like everybody that's up there feels, do I really deserve to be up here?
Yes.
What are people going to think of me? Can I actually dive in and really tell my story? Does it feel like bragging? Like, is this all about the ego? Like, I don't want it to feel that way. Everybody struggles with all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's people in childcare. Like, you are loving, heart-centered people, and you aren't a traditional entrepreneurial group. And so it's very normal to feel that way. But I always tell people, like, you are such an inspiration to others just by getting out of your comfort zone and stepping up here.
Absolutely.
And that's what you received. And so for anybody listening, it's like a lot of people want to push their accomplishments down and not take the spotlight. But I love that you used it for your marketing. And also it helps you attract amazing staff, because young Gen Z women and men want to be led by somebody who has that kind of cool influencer vibe, and they are inspired by it. They want a coach. They want somebody who is going to step into their power to lead them. So I always share this because one of my original mentors always said, it's not sharing your brownies. So when somebody comes over and you have a brand new plate of brownies that just came out of the oven and they smell it, but you're not willing to share your brownies, and then they leave and they're sad, or they think that you're being stingy, that's you. If you're like going, I did all these amazing things, but I'm not going to share it because I'm afraid, or I'm going to stay small. That's you not sharing your brownies.
Right. Well, and not sharing. I mean, when I shared, it really made me self-reflect too on the accomplishments that I was doing, and asking around, like, what are some things that you've been seeing? And it became this whole group thing. Like, our whole school was so excited about it, and you could feel the energy, and they were so excited to see it. I saw that it finally came out. They're like, we want to watch your whole thing. And it's just, it does. It's exciting when everybody's celebrating. And I learned a lot, even though I did feel that at first. But I think realizing that, again, I know there will be at least one person that is touched by your story that you can connect with, that maybe was feeling the same things that you were feeling. So I love that brownie example.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, and I do still welcome going to conferences, but if I had not gone to Salt Lake to that conference and then not been able to share my stuff with you, you still might be in a home childcare.
Absolutely. Who
knows?
No, it was huge, inspiring.
Yeah. So talk about, and you use it for your marketing, and so you're obviously full with a wait list. What have you done that you feel has worked the best for you in your marketing to get full and stay full?
Google, number one, and Facebook, Instagram, huge. And
so like running ads, like Google ads?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and cool. And we do use GYC as they're the ones that are running our website and then doing our ads. I love it because we actually will meet monthly and we'll look at, like, okay, this ad wasn't working so well. Let's move it here, or let's add more here or here. We have like 3 different ads running. And before we were doing it ourselves, and we just were putting a lot of money in places that maybe we shouldn't have, because I don't understand how the advertising goes. So I do that. And then, we have an Instagram, and I will go in there and do stories. We'll share different events. So when the Rockstar happened, we did a little post and talked about, why we're so awesome, because that's the time that you really want to brag, because you want to let your parents know how awesome you are.
Yep.
So that's always huge. And we keep all of our alumni on there, and so they're all following. And I've actually had times when I've posted things like this that alumni parents will bring their kids back, or if like they moved away or for whatever reason they left, they have like come back because of it. So really those are the biggest things that we focus on. And then we're on a really busy road, so our outside appearance and having banners signage out there is huge. We'll switch out our banners for like summer camps, for preschool enrollment. We've even had I'm trying to think who. Michael gave me an idea one time to rent our yard, because our yard's about half acre. And so we had like a banner out there. And so we're like constantly switching it, because the eyes will notice it, right? Because people are driving by all the time. So those are like the main things that we do. But any big event, any cool thing, any kudos, we make sure that we are posting and talking about it.
Cool. I love that. Parents want community. They want a place where it feels like they're just in that tribe, or that to be with other families and to feel like they're part of something. is, I think, more important now than it was 10 years ago.
Yes.
And so you're doing those parent events and those child events and posting it and talking about your community. And that's a big, big, big deal. We're studying it at GYC. We're studying all the clients who have full enrollment and all the clients that don't, and looking at trends for what's driving enrollment today. It doesn't hurt that you're on a busy road. Location is, of course, part of it. So you're definitely gaining brand awareness and clients and leads because you're switching up your signage. So that's super, super smart. But if you weren't on a busy road, even more important for you to get your digital marketing in shape, guys. And so I love that you're using our services, leveraging them, and that it's working for you, which makes us super, super happy. So I love that. Where are you headed? What's next for you? What's going on in 2025? Do you think you would ever expand to a second location? What's in your dream journal?
Well, Kris, I really did keep my promise at the summit. I said I would just, go for that second location. And we actually did. It was an amazing building, 3 minutes from my house. It was a facility for, oh man, now I can't think of what it's called. For people that have disabilities. So it was a facility for people that have disabilities.
Okay.
And so every single classroom had bathrooms next to it. And there was a huge gym and outdoor space and like right on State Street, beautiful. And we went all the way. Like we got under contract. We were looking to get a loan. And at the very, very last minute, I was actually in Italy and dropped my phone in a fountain. So had no phone. Yeah, it was awful for 2 weeks. So great. So my husband was doing all this stuff, but very last minute, it was just a little bit too premature. So we ended up not getting it.
Okay.
And it was really hard. It was really hard because we put a lot into it. But the cool thing that I did love about this was that whole month and a half that we were really working hard on getting that second location, I completely stepped away from the center, like 99.9%. And my leadership, I'm going to cry. They were just beyond amazing. They just took it and ran, and it ran so well. And, with the occasional communication, but, man, it was such a test to see how our systems or processes, how are things going. And it gave me the hope that we can absolutely do this. So we didn't get it, but we're not done. This year is all about leveling up for our team. We're definitely going to keep looking for a second location, and just make sure that any little thing that wasn't up to par where it needed to be, that we are there. So as soon as that thought just manifests itself, we're ready to jump on, and we're not, having to scramble. Because I think the location came a little too soon, and it was so perfect. I had to try.
Yeah.
But I learned so much. Me and my husband learned so much, and I'm glad we did it. I really am. So
yeah. We've had people share in the academy. I think it was Thomas recently, Thomas Bronner. It took him 3 tries.
Yeah, I did listen to his.
Mm-hmm. And so it happens, and you learn each time. And then the one that's actually meant to be is the one that shows up. So for whatever reason, that one wasn't the right one. So just kind of being in acceptance about it, I think, is a huge lesson for me. What I've been trying to do is when things either go my way or don't go my way, it's I'm not going to put power into wanting to claw at it and control it and need it. And, be in resistance to the fact that it's not working is just be in acceptance to it, and it'll flow.
Yeah.
Past.
Well, it was hard for me because I felt like we were really inspired. Again, I look to God in all my things that I do, and it felt so right. And so I had to self-reflect a little bit, not necessarily that we didn't get it, but why was I prompted to do all these things, and things were just moving along to at the end not get it. And I had to just kind of have that conversation with God, okay, what was I supposed to learn from this, and have more of that acceptance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
like, it was sad to not get it, but it was more of just like, okay, we felt like it was the right thing. And so what do we need to learn? And at this point, I feel very grounded in just like, okay, we did learn a lot. And I think some of the things, like my husband need to learn some things because we're working together, right? And that's been just in the last year that we've had to learn how to do that. And so that was a great opportunity for growth that way. So
Cool. Love it. Well, any final thoughts, Jessica, as we come to the close on this episode? I've loved hearing the stories of your resilience and your leadership and your journey. It's been amazing and inspiring. Anything else you would like to share?
Just really wanted to thank you as a person and what you've created. And I'm grateful that you have had the courage to do all this. And I always love hearing your story from the beginning, right? You always look at like the beginning, you're like, how did I get here? But if it wasn't for your striving and everything, and I know a lot of people say this, but I want you to hear that, is I wouldn't be where I am today. I really wouldn't. Like, God put you in my path, and I'm so grateful he did, because you helped me get past from fear to excitement of new things, where I would never have thought, I mean, to think of a second location this fast and everything, like I wouldn't have done that. So I'm really grateful for you. Your team is amazing, and just, you guys are so inspiring. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. It's my great joy and love to be in this place that has, manifested, and just excited for the future, and can't wait to see you next time we see you, hopefully soon, and spend more time together. Thank you so much for everything that you do and all of your leadership. Can't wait to see where you take it. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Jessica Harris from Utah, you're amazing. Big love and hugs to you. And thanks everybody for being here with us on Childcare Rockstar Radio. And we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
I hope you liked this episode of Childcare Rockstar Radio. If you did, please leave a review and share it with someone you know to help spread the word to friends in our industry and on social media. Childcare business success is my passion, and I'm honored to be on this journey with you. As a thank you for listening, I've got a new video training that shows you how to add 6 figures or more of new revenue to your program in the next 60 days by improving your hiring and your enrollment systems. To watch my new video, just go to www.fixmyschool.com. That's fixmyschool.com. Thanks. Take care and God bless.